Hey guys, sorry, let me just get myself situated here. Good morning, happy Saturday for anybody who decides to tune in. I have too much going on here. I'm coming to you live from the Bree-mobile, the car, which as you can see is just filled. Anybody else's car look like this right now because they've spent the past few days at the beach and it looks like you've brought half the beach home with you? Does anybody do the responsible thing in cleaning off beach toys and all of that before they put it back in their car? Because I don't. I'm just like, when it's time to go, I'm like, round up the troops, throw the things back in the beach bag and get it in the back of the car. And now the back of the car is a mess. Hey babe, how are you? Since you're here, can you do a little check for me of reception and audio and all of that? Is it clear? Is it crackly? Should I just stop talking because it's so bad? If you could let me know, that'd be awesome. That would be so good. I'm just gonna awkwardly wait and stare into this little pinhole camera. I'm sweating. It is a disgusting, muggy, sweaty day in my car. So there we go, the air is on. But yeah, babe, let me know, how is the reception? Whatever, I'm just gonna keep talking, and if it's crap, I'm sure somebody will let me know. I titled it's a clean picture and I haven't heard any crackling. Well, that is fantastic. That's good to know. So then I'm gonna just continue to chat, and whoever joins, if anybody joins, that'd be great. So I woke up early this morning and I decided to get in my morning walk or my morning bike ride like I've been doing for a little over a month now. And I've spoke about this live over on Facebook and a couple of times in YouTube, how I use this as my time. I'm just gonna put it out there, to get away from my kids. Sorry, it's the truth. Hate me if you want, but it's the truth. I need time away from my children because I'm with them all day long. And I really look forward to waking up early before they do and leaving the house and going for my power walks or my bike rides. Or when my husband comes home, I do the whole tag you're it and I leave. And it's been great because it allows me to have that time away from my family, and I love them dearly, but away from my family, and have sort of clarity in my thinking. Physically, it's been fantastic just to have some physical activity each day. Has been really nice, some exercise. Sorry, I'm jiggling the camera. And I realized, I was thinking, because this is why I titled this live, where do you find your motivation? My motivation right now is coming from all of the things that I just said. My need for mental clarity, my need for a break away from my family who I love very much, my need for exercise. It just makes me feel better, and even though the world is starting to open up and we're going through all these phases and there's some normalcy, there's still a lot of heavy things going on in the world and in the world around us. So I find it really therapeutic. Interestingly enough, I was on my bike ride today and I saw a friend of mine, and a friend of mine who had just ended chemo, and she's out there walking, and it added to my motivation. It added to my fuel as I sort of finished the rest of my bike ride, because I was thinking, you deserve some time away from the lunatics. Thanks. Sidebar, they're great kids. /lunatics /feral children at times. So I appreciate you acknowledging that, babe. This is nice. It's like a one-on-one conversation with us. You're in the house, I'm in the car. This is great. But I was thinking about her the rest of my ride and thinking to myself, this woman has had, what month are we in? She's had 6 months plus, probably more, things going on that I had I wasn't privy to. But 6 months plus of having her health be at the forefront of her stress. Her family, the what ifs, I'm sure, going through treatment, all that was involved in that. And she got her ass up. She got her ass up early, was out there hitting the pavement, was out there getting her steps in, was out there exercising because she knows it's good for her and I'm sure her own mental health. And it just pushed me to go a little bit farther than I normally do, because I just kind of kept her in my mind. I'm like, you know what, if she's out there after going through all of that and still going through the side effects of things, I'm sure, I could push myself. I'm a completely able-bodied, healthy person, and I can push myself. So I did. And then it got me thinking just about motivation in general. You know, I've spoken about motivation because I'm big into, I'm one of these, like, I like Tony Robbins and Rachel Hollis and Mel Robbins and all of these people who know far more than I do about all of this stuff. But one thing they all say about motivation is finding your why. You know, your why, the why that you do things for, because you can't, at least I can't, just say, I'm going to do this and not have a reason of why in my head. And sometimes that why changes, and sometimes it's not strong enough. I've said this before, and I feel really ashamed of it. I, in the past, have tried to get my nutrition under control, and I would try to use my love for my kids as my motivation and my why. And I would say, I love my children so much, which I do, that I need to care about my health for them. I need that. I need that for them. I need to be around longer. I need to set a good example for them. And I would always fall off the wagon, and go back to eating like crap. And I was ashamed by that. I'm like, why isn't the happiness of my children and the thought of being here for my children enough of a motivating factor for me to just do this? And probably 2 months ago, I decided that yes, I need to do it for my kids. I need to do it for my husband. I need to do it so I'm here for them. But I realized what I was doing was, I wasn't, as cheesy as it sounds, I wasn't doing it for myself. Like, I didn't really want it that badly before. And then all of a sudden I found myself wanting it so badly, wanting to get healthy for myself. I wanted that for myself. And I think a lot of us sometimes struggle. You don't necessarily have to be a parent, but I think a lot of parents struggle with finding that motivation. And sometimes having that motivation simply be, hey, Lisa, good morning. Simply be because it's something you want to do for yourself. Because I think once you become a parent or you're responsible for other people, it's very easy to just want to do things for them, which is lovely. But when you really connect with, no, I want to do this for myself, it could be a really wonderful motivating force. At least for me it is. Again, I'm no guru on health, fitness, anything like that. But the past 2 months, I've really taken control over my eating. You know, again, never really had, and I say again because I've talked about this on different platforms and some people might roll their eyes. I never was somebody that really had a big issue with weight, but it was always internally not being healthy. I'm going to do my live tonight over on YouTube, which is definitely a little bit more fun and relaxed, and just usually when I go live on YouTube at night, it's just asking silly questions and having fun with people as a way to just distract ourselves from everything going on. Hello, Jack Garland. How are you? Hello, Bertice. Good morning. How's it going? Good morning. I was just on, I'm sorry, I'm getting text messages. I just wanted to share some thoughts I had on motivation. I know that sounds so exciting. But I was just saying how this morning I was up doing my morning bike ride, my morning walk, and I saw a friend of mine who just ended chemotherapy, and she's out there, you know, hitting the pavement, getting her steps in, and I just felt so inspired by her. I keep forgetting that it's Patrice because I see your YouTube name. Yes, Patrice. I have to remember that. Patrice, I will be on live this evening just for some fun, like usual at nighttime if you're around at 8:30. How are you, Patrice? How are you doing? How is life treating you? I was also talking about how about 8 weeks ago, about 2 months ago, I decided to make a big shift in my nutrition. Good. I'm glad you're doing well. But I decided in all of this craziness, quarantine and everything going on, I needed to really get a handle of my health. You know, high cholesterol, high this, low that, blah, blah, blah. And I decided for once that, like, instead of just doing it for my family, I really needed to do it for myself, type of thing. And it was hard. I mean, it was really hard, you know, cutting out sugar, processed foods. I went through the the not having it. You know what I'm trying to say. And the sugar headaches and all of that, and the really, really intense cravings. And finally, 2 months out, I'm able to watch my kids eat Italian ices without feeling like I could rip their heads off just to get a scoop of cookie dough. So that's a good thing. But I was curious. I didn't know if anybody was going to be on, if anybody will watch this. But I was curious about how other people, or where other people find their motivation. You know, what do you find motivates you to do the things in life that you either have to do or you want to do, whether it's fitness, nutrition, or anything like that. Some people work on these big audacious plans, writing a book, creating a company, you know, something. And I was just really curious, what makes people tick? What makes you move? What connects to you? What's your why? You know, what's your why of motivation and what you do why you do things? Because a lot of times my why changes. You know, for some things it is my kids. My kids are a motivating factor for me to do some things, or my husband, or my own happiness. But it's really important to kind of know what that is when you're working on something. Because I find, and I don't know, Lisa says, you motivated me. I'm starting eating healthy and walking a lot too. Lisa, that makes me feel so happy. Good. I'm so glad to see that. That's really important. It's really important to take care of your body, you know, and it feels good too. It feels really, it's so bizarre. I never thought I would be saying, like, it feels good to eat kale and quinoa, like, but I love it. You know, when you find things that are good for you and it makes you feel good and taste good, and you find a benefit from it, it can be really rewarding, you know. Especially I'm finding, and I don't know if anybody else who's working on goals, and if you're accomplishing them during this time, I keep saying, just like so many other people, who the heck would have thought 2020 would be like this? Like, we have collectively as people gone through so much in such a short amount of time, and it's rocked a lot of people, myself included, from like a mental health perspective. And if, you know, God willing, and you're fortunate enough to still be here, that says a lot. You know, you've made it through a lot of terrible things going on in the world, a lot of terrible acts of violence, all of that have been going on, and this quarantine, this pandemic. So if you're able to accomplish goals during this, pat yourself on the back, because that's just like, that's awesome. That's a really awesome accomplishment. So as I'm accomplishing my own goals, I feel like that's an awesome accomplishment, because I feel like if I could do it through this, then I'm okay, you know? Yeah, I just think that's a super important thing to hold on to for anybody that's working on something. Like, give yourself some grace to realize that you're working through maybe something really challenging right now. You know, maybe something that that you thought you had in the bag at one point, and maybe you fell off the tracks, you know, during all this. And you need to get back. You need to get back to where you once were, whether it's the way you were eating, or lack of exercise, or old vices. You know, a lot of people have vices that they go to when things get difficult. And things have been really difficult this year. So, you know, I'm sure for some people that's been a struggle too. But I think it just takes self-awareness to realize what it is you want in life, what you have to do to get it, and, you know, having a good support system through it, and giving yourself credit for the accomplishments you're doing. But anyway, anybody who watches this, I would love to know. Comment in the comment section. What motivates you? Where do you find your motivation? How do you hold on to your motivation? Do you spend time? Do you sit down really thinking about your why? why you need to do things, you know, the why behind your motivating factors. Does that help you? I'm just curious. I like to know things about people. But anyway, well, listen, guys, it is Saturday. I'm going to be live here on YouTube tonight at 8:30 for more of the nighttime craziness. Did I reach my goal on YouTube yet? I almost have, Lisa. I'm so close. So close. But once I do, I will let you guys know, because that's been an accomplishment or a goal in the making since July. Thank you, Lisa. But yeah, I will see you guys, whoever wants to stop on by tonight at 8:30, and I hope you have a lovely day. All right, bye, guys.